Hello, everyone. I'm Joe the Jet G, and today some fun news is coming out of Florham Park. And later on, I'm going to talk about Frank Reich and what he said about new Jets quarterback Geno Smith. But let's start off with the rookie numbers. Okay. The first rookie number is David Bailey, of course, number 2 overall pick. He is officially number 31. Honestly, that's okay in my book. Honestly, we're seeing a lot of edge rushers go with the lower tier numbers, lower numbers. So 31 isn't as bad as like let's just say like 15 or 7. You don't want to see your edge rusher wear 1. Like I'm sorry, it's not right. It doesn't look right. Or number 0 or something like, ugh, that is a terrible edge rusher number. But 31's okay. I can get behind 31. Kenyon Sadiq wearing 16 though, eh, honestly, I get it. Um, he wore 18 in college, but it just looks weird on a tight end. It just does. But look, again, I'm gonna have to state this: these numbers don't matter on whether these guys are gonna be good or bad. Like you know, these guys can wear can wear triple digit numbers, and if they're good players, we're gonna buy their jerseys anyway. Um it doesn't really matter, but it's just like it aesthetically matters, I guess. But it doesn't matter if they're a good player or not. It doesn't determine that. So Kenyon Sadiq is 16. Okay, he was number 18 in college. It looked weird in college. It's gonna look weird in the pros, but I still think he's gonna be a good player, a very good player at the next level. And I'm very excited that we actually have a tight end that's actually going to make defensive coordinators, sort of think a little bit on whether they should cover him or not. Omar Cooper is 83, a little bit of Santana Moss energy. Some of these, don't expect some of these to be final. I don't expect this one to be final either. Like, I think this one's going to change. Personally, I think whenever number 3 becomes available to him, I think he's going to take number 3. Because remember, Garrett Wilson, he was number 17 for a little bit, and then once number 5 became available, you know, he got number 5. And yeah, so don't expect 83 to be kind of like the long-term Omar Cooper number. Uh, Number 3, he might be coming for number 3. Honestly, he might pay for number 3 even. I don't see him keeping 83 for the long term. D'Angelo Pond's 23. Um, I'm okay with that. Honestly, I think that's a good number. Honestly, um, but honestly, personally, I rather go 25. I wanted him to go 25, but I don't know if there's another player that has the number 25. But 23, it's okay. It's a okay corner number, honestly. Now, the number I have a severe issue with, and I think he should definitely change this number, is Darnell Jackson Jr. wearing number 78. Um, he's got to shave that down a little bit. Like, let's just say like 50, 58 or something like that. Like, make it a good, like, make it like a small number because 78 on a defensive lineman, or at least go 98 or something like that, or 90, uh, 96 or something like that, like 78 for a defensive lineman. Eh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Kate Klubnik is number 10. Uh, Honestly, love it. That's probably one of my favorite uh jersey numbers that he selected. That were selected by the rookies. So number 10, solid number, especially a solid number for a quarterback. There are like a lot of great quarterbacks that have worn 12, 10. I would like to say 11 and 16. A lot of quarterbacks wear 16, and a lot of quarterbacks wear 15 nowadays too. So 10, not a bad number for a quarterback. Now, granted, does this mean he's the future? No, but um, it's a good number. It's a good jersey number. Now, Aziz Cooper 72 for, give me some Brandon Shell vibes, honestly. I really like that. 72 for an offensive lineman is not bad. And then the number also I really like is VJ Payne as 34. I think 34 is kind of gas for a safety. I really like that. Especially with a guy named VJ Payne. Like 34, if you had the number 34, you got to have some game. And VJ Payne wearing number 34, that's a good fit, honestly. I can definitely see that working. So, yeah, those are all the rookie numbers. Don't expect them to be all permanent. Some of them are going to change, but again, I like to clarify this does not make or break a player. This doesn't make a player a Hall of Famer. This doesn't make a player a bad player. No. It's just aesthetically, like how do they look aesthetically? So, yeah, that's my opinions on the matter for the jersey numbers, but they all are definitely going to change. Most of them are probably going to change, especially Omar Cooper. I do not see him wearing 83 for the long term. I think he's going to wear number 3, if not this year, maybe next year if number 3 is available. So I do not see that becoming a long term thing. So to people that are going to get attached to 83, um, yeah, don't get too attached to that number. With Omar Cooper, he's definitely going to change that number. I feel like. Maybe Kenyon City 2 might change to 16 if 18 becomes available, I guess. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But the rest of the numbers, all right. I like it. I like most of them. Now, let's get to Frank Reich and what he said recently about Geno Smith. He said, and I quote, he has a lot of good football ahead of him. Now, to a lot of people, Geno Smith, um, people think of Geno Smith and they kind of think of, you know, he's Mr. Interception. He's a tank commander. We're going to lose a lot of games with him, that type of thing. But personally, I don't really think that. I think Geno Smith was dealt a very bad hand last year. And I think the Jets feel the same way that this man was dealt a very, very poor hand. And he had, like, think about this. He had Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, and Ashton Genty, and a really bad O line. He had Jacoby Myers for a quarter of the season. Brock Bowers got hurt, missed a good amount of time. So after that, like a good portion of his weapons were gone. And the rest of the weapons he was throwing to were U-Haul employees, mostly. Like, they would be like wide receiver 4s or wide receiver 5s on very good teams. Very good teams. Now you're giving Geno a shot at success because you have a good O line. You have receivers in Garrett Wilson, and Omar Cooper, Sadiq, um, who is a threat at the tight end position. AD Mitchell, people forget about AD Mitchell. I mean, he has a lot of potential too. Um, and you have Brees in the backfield. If the Jets can sign Brees Hall, that could really help. I mean, it could really help. I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, he mopes on Twitter." We don't like that, but he's a good player. So I think it's essential. If the Jets want to be competitive this year, they got to sign Brees Hall. They got to sign him, or at least lock him up, or at least get him a good deal, a team friendly deal that can keep him here. So he has a lot of stuff to work with here, compared to Vegas. And the last time he had a lot of stuff to work with was in Seattle. Don't get me wrong. Look, Seattle had a good O line, decent O line, very good O line, and he threw it to guys like DK Metcalf, Noah Fant, JSN, Tyler Lockett, K9 was in the backfield. Kenneth Walker was in the backfield. He had a lot to work with in Seattle. In with the Raiders, he had nothing. The guy had nothing. He had completely nothing to work with. So look again, we are slowly learning as an NFL fan base that look, quarterbacks are important, but the team around those quarterbacks are even more important. Even more important because you put a quarterback on a bad team, he's going to struggle. He's not going to save the day. He's going to struggle. You got to put him on a good spot. You got to keep those pockets clean. You got to make sure receivers can get open for them on time. Geno didn't have that last year. So when Frank Reich says something like, "Oh, his best football is ahead of him," okay, I guess you can make the case like he's middle aged when it comes to quarterbacks. He's going to be 36 by October, but that's not crazy to say, honestly. When you put it into the context of, when you put it up to the context of he could be productive, he could be what he was at Seattle again. He's not washed like a Kirk Cousins, honestly. Kirk Cousins had two really bad years with Atlanta, and he had a lot to work with in Atlanta. A lot. He had a lot of weapons. He should have been better than what he was. He was not good in Atlanta. Geno was bad with the Raiders. Do not get me wrong. But he was solid 2 years ago with Seattle. Very solid with a lot to work with. The Jets have a lot to work with now. They have a better offense than what they did back in 2013, 2014. I know Jet fans are thinking about those years when he first started with the Jets, but who was he throwing it to? An old Santonio Holmes, Stephen Hill, Jeff Cumberland? Like guys, come on. Like you have to think like this is a much better situation he's in compared to the first stint. So again, do I expect a lot of wins this year? No, I don't. But I expect a decent season, like a 6-win, 5-win year. Now, a lot of people are going to say, like, oh, that's not a decent season. That's horrible. Like, no. Compared to past years, compared to last year, that's a massive improvement. You go from 3 wins to 6 wins, that's an improvement. Now, granted, is it going to be an improvement to save Aaron Glenn's job? I don't know. Maybe that's up for debate. But but being a productive team, showing production offensively would be an improvement. Showing that this team can score points and look pretty solid offensively, that's an improvement. That is an improvement because last year the Jets offense looked inept. They could not move the ball. It was awful. Awful. The Denver Broncos game last year was terrible. People can't remember that game. I remember it. The Jets lost by 3 points. Lost by 3 points. And they should have won that game, actually. They should have won that game. If Justin Fields knew how to read a field, the Jets probably would have won that game. But he didn't. He didn't, and the Jets lost. There was a lot of games that Justin Fields by himself lost. So a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, well, Justin Fields wasn't that a good situation? He had Garrett Wilson and a bunch of other people to throw to." Well, he didn't help. He didn't help. He didn't help. That Denver game, he should have won, and he didn't. So I think the Jets upgraded with quarterback, honestly. I really do. And I think the Jets are going to be a better team than what they were last year. Is it going to be by much? No, but it's going to be very similar to what the Jets were in 2017, which is offense that shows a lot of production, shows a lot of promise, but at the same time, they're not good enough right now to be a playoff team or anything significant like that. So, look, I think the Jets are going to be a good team. And plus, here's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to be upset with that result of a 6-win season or a 5-win season. There are going to be actually a lot of people are going to be upset with that result. They're going to be like, we cannot get our quarterbacks now. Well, that's not entirely true because we have 3 first-round picks. This is where having this much ammunition next year's draft helps because you can trade up and get your guy next year. You can do that. That's something that you can do. If you really want a quarterback next year and you want to develop him behind Geno Smith, you can trade up and snag him. You have enough ammo to do that. If you have enough ammo to do that, would I recommend it? I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't recommend trading everything. No, I wouldn't recommend trading everything, but maybe like a second, I guess. But honestly, I'm not, I don't know. I don't know what the quarterback class is going to look like within a year from now. I don't know where the Jets are going to look like within a year from now. Honestly, all that speculation on taking and who we should take it is right now irrelevant because we do not know what the landscape is going to look like in a year from now. We have no idea, no clue. As of right now, we need to focus on this season and what can we accomplish. That's personally my take. So, not a lot of people are going to agree with that. They're going to think, well, we should tank, but we have no idea what next year is going to bring. There might be a lot of guys that are going to go back to college, like last year. Because remember, last year was supposed to be an amazing quarterback class. Again, some guys can play bad and go back to school. A lot of guys can, you know, can you know, stay for another year. Shockingly, that can happen. People forget 2026 was supposed to be a very good quarterback class until it wasn't. So things could change like that. So the whole idea of the 2027 class is going to be loaded, that's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee. It looks to be loaded, but it's not guaranteed yet. When it's guaranteed, when you're seeing all these players declare, okay, fine. But as of right now, I mean it's May of 2026. We got a full year and a full season to evaluate these players, these quarterbacks for next year. We have no idea where they're going to be placed. We have no idea if they're going to even play well or not. We have no clue. So that is my personal take on that. But right now, I think Geno does give the Jets the best possible chance to win games. And I think if I'm Aaron Glenn and I am Darren Muji, that's all you need. You need to win games right now. The team has been so bad for years. You just got to take what you can get at this point. And Geno Smith can provide you production. That is what we are asking for as fans at this point, the bare minimum. And Geno Smith can give you the bare minimum. That is his ceiling. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the matter. I think Frank Reich is kind of correct on Geno's best days are kind of ahead of him. Do I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer? No. Do I think he's the future of the franchise? No. But I do think Geno can be productive. So, yeah, that's sort of my take on the matter. I know a lot of people raise their eyebrows on that quote, but I don't. I believe it. I think it's a normal quote. I think it's very reasonable for Frank Reich to say that. But neither here or there. If you disagree with me, leave a comment down below. If you agree with me, also leave a comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification down below. And thank you all for watching. I'm Joe the Jet G, and go Jets.